For most of modern history, savings has been presented as a delayed reward. Work, earn, spend carefully, and place whatever remains into the future. Vicki Robin challenged that sequence by asking a more important question: what exactly are we trading for money? Her answer transformed savings from a leftover habit into a deliberate strategy for reclaiming life, choices, and time. Robin became widely known through Your Money or Your Life, the book she co-authored with Joe Dominguez. Their framework questioned the assumption that wealth is measured by possessions, status, or the ability to consume continuously. Instead, it treated money as life energy, the hours, attention, and vitality exchanged for income. That philosophical shift changed how many people understood the meaning of a paycheck. The idea is simple, but its consequences are profound. Every dollar represents some portion of a person's life. Earning that dollar may require commuting, concentrating, managing stress, postponing family time, or accepting work that does not reflect personal values. Spending it is therefore not merely a financial event. It is a decision about whether the life energy used to obtain it produced enough value in return. This does not mean that all spending is wasteful or that ambition is a problem. It means spending deserves examination rather than automatic approval. Consumerism encourages people to move quickly from desire to purchase, often without asking whether the purchase supports freedom. Robin's approach slows that process down. It turns the question from whether something can be bought in to whether it is worth the life energy required to buy it. That is the foundation of intentional wealth building. The objective is not deprivation. The objective is alignment. Money should serve a chosen life rather than quietly dictate one. A person may value travel, meaningful work, family security, creativity, or independence. The strategy is to identify those priorities, direct resources toward them, and reduce the expenses that consume life energy without delivering comparable value. The first practical move is complete awareness. Track every dollar flowing in and out, not to create shame, but to reveal the current design of your life. Broad categories can hide powerful patterns. A detailed record shows which expenses are essential, which are useful, which are enjoyable, and which are simply inherited from habit, pressure, or comparison. This exercise also exposes the difference between price and cost. The price appears on a receipt. The deeper cost includes the work required to earn the money, along with taxes, transportation, maintenance, financing, and the attention needed to manage the purchase. A recurring expense can quietly represent a recurring claim on future freedom. Seeing that claim clearly makes better decisions possible. Once spending is visible, the next step is evaluation. Ask what each expense contributes. Does it protect health, create genuine satisfaction, strengthen relationships, improve capability, or purchase meaningful time? Does it support a long-term objective, or does it merely maintain an image? These questions do not produce one universal budget. They produce a personal standard for value. Savings then acquires a new meaning. It is not money placed aside for an abstract future while the present is endured. It is stored life energy. It is purchasing power preserved for a time when employment may no longer be necessary, desirable, or available. The act of saving becomes an act of self-direction because it increases the distance between survival and the next paycheck. That distance is the beginning of financial independence. Financial independence does not require a particular lifestyle or a public display of success. It means building enough durable resources and disciplined habits that your essential choices are not controlled entirely by immediate income. The more of your life funded by assets rather than compulsory labor, the greater your freedom to decide how time is used. Intelligent investing is central to that process. Saving creates the capital, but investing gives capital the opportunity to support future independence. The governing principle is not excitement, it is durability. An investment decision should be considered in relation to risk, liquidity, costs, time horizon, and its role within the broader plan. The goal is to build a resilient base, not to chase every attractive story. This is where discipline matters more than prediction. Markets, businesses, and property values can change. No strategy removes uncertainty, but an intentional investor can control the rate of saving, the quality of research, the level of diversification, and the willingness to avoid decisions that threaten the entire plan. Wealth building is strengthened when each investment is treated as a tool with a purpose rather than as a symbol of sophistication. Real estate can also fit within this framework. but acquisition should begin with function, not excitement. A property may provide housing stability, rental income, or a potential store of value, yet ownership carries obligations. Financing, taxes, maintenance, vacancies, insurance, and local conditions all affect the result. The intelligent question is not whether property is always a good investment. It is whether a specific acquisition strengthens financial independence without placing freedom under excessive strain. The same standard applies to entrepreneurial ventures. A business can create income, equity, and control over time, but it can also consume the very freedom it was intended to produce. Before pursuing an enterprise, examine the model. Understand how revenue is created, what costs are unavoidable, how dependent the operation is on the founder, and whether growth increases flexibility or merely increases workload. A strategic entrepreneur designs for optionality. That may mean developing a valuable skill, creating a service with repeat demand, building systems that reduce dependence on one individual, or separating personal finances from business finances. Entrepreneurial income should not automatically become permission for lifestyle inflation. When additional income arrives, it can accelerate reserves, investments, property acquisition, or debt reduction. This is the larger philosophical shift Robin helped bring into public conversation. Traditional consumer culture often defines progress through visible accumulation. The framework associated with Robin and Dominguez defines progress through increasing control. A person may look less wealthy while becoming more secure, because the true asset is not the appearance of abundance. It is the ability to make decisions without surrendering every hour to income production. That idea helped inspire the FIRE movement, meaning financial independence, retire early. The movement is often reduced to extreme frugality, but its deeper contribution is more thoughtful. It asks people to calculate the relationship between spending, saving, investing, and time. It challenges the assumption that a standard retirement age must be accepted without examination, while leaving room for different lifestyles and different definitions of enough. FIRE is not a single formula. For one person, financial independence may mean leaving a stressful career. For another, it may mean working part-time, caring for family, pursuing a creative vocation, or continuing to work by choice rather than necessity. The common principle is intentionality. Financial resources create options, and options are a form of wealth. Asset protection becomes increasingly important as wealth grows. Building assets without protecting them leaves the plan vulnerable. Personal and business finances should be organized clearly. Important documents should be maintained. Beneficiary designations and ownership structures deserve regular review. Insurance should be evaluated according to genuine risks, and professional legal or tax guidance may be appropriate when circumstances become complex. For future generations, the objective is not merely to transfer money. It is to transfer judgment. Children and heirs who receive assets without understanding value can consume an inheritance quickly. A stronger legacy combines capital with habits, tracking resources, questioning consumption, maintaining productive assets, managing risk, and recognizing that money represents choices made with life energy. This also changes how families discuss success. Instead of praising consumption as proof of achievement, they can discuss resilience, useful work, generosity, and time. Instead of treating savings as punishment, they can describe it as capacity. Every reserve can protect a household from desperation. Every productive asset can widen future choices. Every thoughtful financial decision can reduce dependence on circumstances outside the family's control. The blueprint begins with a personal inventory. Measure income, spending, debt, savings, investments, property, and obligations. Then identify the expenses that create genuine value and the expenses that merely continue by default. Establish a savings process before discretionary spending expands. Direct capital toward a diversified, understandable plan. Evaluate real estate and entrepreneurial opportunities with sober assumptions. Protect what has been built. The blueprint also requires periodic reflection. A financial plan should evolve as health, relationships, work, and priorities change. The purpose is not to obey a budget forever. The purpose is to keep money connected to life. When circumstances change, revise the allocation. When income rises, preserve the difference between earning more and needing more. When an investment succeeds, strengthen the foundation rather than assuming success will repeat. Vicki Robin changed the view of savings by changing the question behind it. Instead of asking how much can be accumulated for an unnamed future, She encouraged people to ask how money relates to the life they are living now and the freedom they want later. Through Your Money or Your Life and her work with Joe Dominguez, savings became a measure of intentionality, not merely restraint. The enduring lesson is that wealth is not the maximum amount a person can consume. It is the amount of life that money can help return. When consumerism is replaced with conscious value, saving becomes purposeful. When saving is paired with intelligent investing, assets can support independence. When independence is protected and passed on with wisdom, wealth becomes more than a balance. It becomes time, agency, and a durable opportunity for future generations.